Though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death the memory be green, and that it is befitted to bear our hearts in grief on our whole kingdom, to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we as twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth and funeral, with dirge and marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife, nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now follows, that you know young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death our state to be disjointed and out of frame. Colleagued with this dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father, with all bands of law, to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourself and for this time of meeting. Thus much the business is. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this, his nephew's purpose to suppress his further gate herein, and that the levies, the list, and full proportions are all made out of his subject, and we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltimen, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of these dilated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty. We doubt it nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes? Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius? Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spended at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
Little more than kin, and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I am too much of the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis a common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Ay, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suppuration of forced breath, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected heavier of the visage, together with all forms, modes, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth slow, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but you must know, your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term, to do obsequious sorrow, but to preserve an obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief, it shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled, for what we know must be, and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our own peevish opposition take it to heart? Fie, 'tis a fault of heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first course till he that died today. This must be so. We pray you throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madame.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings roused the heaven shall bruit again, re-speaking earthly thunder, come away.
Oh, that this is too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. God, oh God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it! Oh, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed things rank and gross in nature, possessed merely. That it should come to this? But 2 months dead! Nay, not so much, not two, so excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth! Must I remember? Why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month! Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe all tears, why she, even she, oh God! A beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules, within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing of her galled eyes, she married, oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets, it is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Brief let me be, sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always in the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Habanon in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posset and curd like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine, and a most instant tether barked about, most lazier like with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhoused, disappointed, unenled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pang of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes? when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bunting? Who would fathers bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of fright, and enterprises of great pit and moment with this regard their courage turn away and lose the name of action. Soft now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, and be all my sins remembered.
I'll warrant you. Fear me not. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
How now? A rat? Dead first, you cat, dead!
Oh, I am slain.
Some places.
How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes. There is a willow grows aslant a brook, that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name. But our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious silver broke, when down the weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like awhile they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element, but long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death. Drowned! Drowned!